What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another monthly update on the Fishroom outside here. We have a couple changes that I need to share with you guys to kind of keep you guys updated on what's going on. So let's go ahead and start with this tank over here. There's some algae in the wall. I haven't cleaned it yet. So the CO2 tank actually ran out like maybe a couple days ago, and that's why we had some built up algae on the wall. I haven't scraped everything and also haven't done a water change yet for this week. Most likely we'll do it tomorrow, maybe today, we'll see later today. But that's that. Down here in the sump, I changed out the light to just the normal Kessel for fresh water, and we got some plants growing down there. That's doing fine. The fish in here are doing fine. Most of the Pleco, as you can see, has been trimmed and sold off. So I have probably another 5 or 6 more to sell, and then I'll kind of rescape this a little bit, put some of the carpet plants over here on the front, and kind of let it do its thing over there. Over here in the holding tank for the Pleco fries, we got the baby Plecos available. If you guys are interested in getting some tiger Plecos, they are on the website here. We got about maybe 12 of them available here, so they're just in here until they're sold. They're growing out pretty nicely. All right, we're over here in the shrimp rack. Let's head to the shrimp rack real fast. This tank's slowly getting cleaner, I'm telling you. I think a lot of it has to do with the tiger Plecos. So this is the next batch of tiger Plecos. There's a couple fries in here. This one's almost ready to be sold, but that's the next batch size right there, the little guy down there. So it's gonna take probably another, I would say like a year or so before they're actually sellable. But these guys, they eat wood, and wood creates a lot of debris, fine debris. And that's what all that is right there. And that's why I think this tank was like so dirty, is because I have all of them in one tank over there. But anyways, the shrimp in here has, exploded and has gone crazy. So I'll probably have to start culling these guys and just putting, the nice ones over into the main tank, let them breed. Again, this was a different batch of shrimp that I gotten from a different source, quarantined for a while by itself in here. So looks like they're doing pretty well. You can see here, only started with 10 shrimps, and look how much shrimp there are. And that doesn't count the ones I've sold already. I've sold a ton of them for this tank. And so that's that tank. Here's the next batch of neon yellows, looking pretty good. The size of the colony has just been kind of just stagnant. It hasn't really exploded. It really hasn't dwindled. It's just been kind of doing this thing. So not really sure what's going on here. Same thing with this tank. It's like both of these tanks has just kind of been stagnant. The Celestials are back there as well, but I haven't really seen any breeding action between them. I think I have a lot of males in here, so yeah, so they're just in the back there. I might have to get another dozen or so of those guys just to try to get some females or something like that. And moving on over here to another Cull tank. Again, a lot of these culls are actually looking really nice. They looks like they bred out some really red ones. So I might have to again put some of the red ones back into the main tank. I have to cull the main tank because I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, so this is where my Starlight Plecos are growing out. So they are not quite ready to be sold. I would say maybe another half a year or so, like maybe in this fall. These guys will be ready to to be sold. I have a bunch of those in here as well, and I'll probably keep a couple of them just to kind of get another group of females or something like that in the tank to breed in the future or whatever. So those guys are looking good as well. All right, then moving down here to the main colony, the Crypts are doing fabulous. Look at this, guys. Look at this, crazy. Put them in these little pots here since they're kind of floating. A lot of them are still floating, but I put them along here against this light here because it goes diagonally. I need to clean this along here, so I can probably fit another one in here eventually at some point. But what I'm doing is I'm growing them out, selling some of the bigger ones, and then I still have a bunch of little ones, so I'll grab the little ones, repot them, grow them out, and then just kind of slowly do that over time. But the guys in here are doing great. All right, so we're moving on to the Pleco rack here. So no breeding. I haven't seen any eggs, and this is like during the summertime, so I don't expect breeding to happen just because the water is just gonna be hotter. They like it when it kind of drops in temperature. I mean, I can kind of try to trigger it with water changes, but I don't expect any breeding or any eggs this summer, but you might see a batch or so once in a while. But I have not seen anything from the Starlights. They had like maybe 3 or 4 batches during the cold winter and beginning of the year. The tank down here is the zebras and the leopard plecos. I had the one leopard pleco batch of eggs, and that was it. I have not actually seen the fry, so I think the fries didn't make it, and I actually put them in this tank, and maybe the tank is kind of too big, but I didn't see any fry that made it in there, so I don't think those little fry made it. But maybe hopefully we can try to trigger another spawn later this year and see if we can try to get some of those eggs. All right, and then the top tank over here is the tiger pleco tank. This tank has been the most active in terms of breeding for me. Again, the beginning of this year and last year. Have not seen any eggs, so normally if it's egg season, these guys will start first, and then the starlights will be next. Haven't seen anything from them. And then down here is the peppermint plecos. We had one batch of eggs from them this year, which is very surprising because I haven't seen any breeding action from them for almost like a year. Had one, so that was pretty cool. And then the fries didn't really make it, unfortunately, for me. So yeah, so that's that. So we're over here in the other side of the garage here. So this is right next to the planet tank here. There used to be a rack that sits right here. Had to move that and clear out some of the space here. And I put the tools in the middle here, and I moved the trash can bins over here. But I had to clear some room because we're going to get a backup battery for the solar panels, and this is basically for the whole house and for the fish rooms and whatnot. So I'm thinking that we want the battery somewhere along this wall, so we most likely will need to remove the power strip, put the battery there. We'll put the power strip somewhere else, wherever they decide is the best place to place that. But we had to put the battery over here, and it has to be hooked up to all the breakers, and the main breaker is actually over here where the other rack used to be, and that's where this rack used to be here, and I had to clear that rack out so that they can access the main breakers here so that they can hook it up to the battery. And hopefully what they can do is they can wire it down across over here, back behind the wall, and up to the battery somewhere. So, and then if they need to make a sub panel for that, they'll have it over here, hopefully. If not, they might have another panel here, but I don't, hopefully, I don't know how they're gonna do this, but if they do, it might have to be next to this, and I have to move this rack. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but they have access to the panel, so they might make it across here to this wall. I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, so I spent probably 2 days moving a bunch of this rack, and that temporary rack is going to be over there until we figure out where the panel situation is going to be like, and that way they can access it and do their thing. I signed the paperwork to get the battery a couple days ago, and so it's probably going to be a waiting game, probably like 60 days to 90 days or something, maybe sooner. I know when I signed for the solar panels were supposed to be out up to 90 days, but they did it in a month, all the approvals and everything. So they do work pretty fast. So hopefully we do get the batteries up here, and then once we get the batteries up there, I most likely will move this rack back over here, but I'm not 100% sure because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this section, especially with this tank here, because eventually, ideally, this planet tank is going to be inside, and I won't have this planet tank here just because there's a lot of fluctuation in temperature during the summertime, and the plants melt during the summertime and they don't grow really well, but during like spring and whatnot they do really well. But anyways, I want to eventually, once I get the reef tank inside situated, move everything to that one big tank inside the office. This planet tank will go inside where the fish is at right now, in the living room, and then this tank, most likely, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but most likely I'll probably get rid of it. That's what I'm thinking, just because I don't have a plan or a thing for this tank. I mean, I could keep it to grow all the fish and whatnot, but I don't have anything specific for that. I'll most likely want to move this rack over here, maybe do another couple of tanks for growing out fry or whatnot along here, or putting it here. I'm not sure yet. Most likely I'll put it closer to there just because the water change access is easy. You can just kind of dump it outside. But yeah, and then most likely move this out of the way. It gives me plenty of room to access over here as well. So we'll see. That's the plan in the future. Again, a lot of this can change, and it has been changing. But yeah, so that is the update for the fish room for this month. A lot of changes, and hopefully, like I said, the next update you may see a backup battery, so I don't have to worry about electricity going in and out of this place. Man, like I think in the last month or so, we lost like electricity twice randomly, and it wasn't even from a storm. You know, it was just like a random like just outage for like an hour or 2 hours, and it's just been not reliable. So yeah, so hopefully this backup battery will help with everything. All right, guys, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys are subscribed. And like always, till next time, guys, peace.